Welcome to Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. In this video, I am going to talk about change orders and the fact that if you issue a change order credit to someone because you've made an agreement about some stuff that you had on the original budget when you set your price, that you're not going to do that anymore. And it's going to be about landscaping. Let's play like, our cousin is now the home buyer's cousin is a great landscaper, has agreed to do the work for them, and we're not going to be, in general, doing the landscaping anymore. So we issue them a credit. First of all, let's take a look. I went to the job dashboard and I clicked estimated cost at completion for this job. And I've already issued the change orders I'm going to talk about. But let's take a look at plant landscaping, irrigation, and the amounts we budgeted for them. And you're going to see that we've given them some change order credits. We've cleared out the irrigation, the landscaping. For some reason, we didn't clear out the entire plant landscaping, and if you drill down on the change orders, you'll see that we did issue a credit for that $6,000, which is marked up then by the 25%. But earlier we had made a change order for add palm trees along the drive for $2,400, and we're still going to be getting those palm trees, just that part of the landscape, and putting them in along the drive. So we do have a change order for that amount, and then we have change orders. Now we're giving them credit for the $6,000 budget. So that's what causes that effect. So it doesn't show minus $6,000. It's the difference between the 6 and the 36. So we're still estimating a cost for $2,400 here, even though we've issued change orders. And let's go take a look at the job dashboard again, and let's look at the change orders approved. And I want to talk about how if we decide, because we did this big credit, that if we drill down on it, this particular change order has 3 lines to it, which are the credit amounts for the budget. We did some in stage 8. We reduced our delay days. Our days that will go to our schedule, we're actually doing minus amounts, so we're reducing our scheduled days by that. But anyway, you can see how the original budget amounts, we've issued credits for that, written them all up by 25%. And so all of that comes to this CO price, actually a credit of $15,625. Now let's say for whatever reason, who knows, like I said, I'm playing like this is a fixed contract now. We've decided we will be giving them a check for this credit, and at the same time clearing out and showing all of these as paid. Now the problem with that in CHS, you can't do that like a normal customer refund, because where you mark change orders as paid is on the deposit window. So I'm going to show you how to write just sort of a generic check to the customer for this amount, but actually then go and post all of it on the deposit window to get all of these change orders and the credit cleared out. So in order to do that, we're actually going to write a check, and we're not going to use the job code. We're just going to make it so that we can print a check to the customer using the generic HJob and cash clearing account, because when we go to the deposit window, what we're going to do is post a 0 deposit, and one of the lines will be to that generic HJob and a cash clearing account to get that GL account cleared out. I'll just show you how that works. So we have this amount of $7,285 that we plan to issue a refund for. And you could print a report out or something to help you with this as you do it, a report of all this stuff. But anyway, let's close this. And let's go do our generic check on the Home tab. It's Post to Payables. And if you haven't already done so, you would need to set up the payer as also a vendor, which I actually described in a previous video about doing a buyer refund. And let me close this for a minute. Notice that there's a button here for job buyer refunds. I'm actually going to add this particular video to this, because this type of refund won't work for you. If you have change orders, you're trying to show something as paid off, particular change orders, etc. So let's do that. Let's do select our vendor. of the buyer. We already set them up also as a vendor. And we're just going to do a quick bill because really you're not going to post this one to a job. This is just going to be a wash, and I'll show you how all the stuff for the job is going to show up. We'll just leave today's date and we'll do CO credit or something like that. Now what we're going to use for our GL account, we've set up on our chart of accounts just something called a cash transfer clearing account. And then we'll do small, we could even put the job code here if we wanted. CO credit if we want. And that amount that we had on there was for $7,285. So we're going to do this so that we can print a check to them. It's not going anywhere on our books to that job right now. We're going to post the payment or actually print the check. And let me see what check number I need to use. Let's do 30, we're missing 3063, so let's play like it's that number. I just make up stuff because this is a demo and I don't really have checks. On the face of the check, I could do for change order net credit or something like that, whatever you might want to do. When you print the check, you would see that on the face of the check. We'll print our check out. Pay like we clicked our printer button up here and printed this check, and then we're closing this, and let's say the check printed okay, so we'll do that, and it'll show our balance in our account after that check was printed. So now what we want to do, we need to remember, that we put that to that cash transfer clearing account. We want to get all those change orders cleared out. So we want to do that as a zero deposit actually on the deposit window. So let's add a new deposit. And in these first lines, we will be putting all of this to the job. And once I select this payer, it knows which job it is. And our check, 3063, I can't remember what check number I use. Let's play like that's the right one. Let's just put that there as for a reason, as a little notation. And we'll do change order. Well, let's select the first change order we want to mark as paid. There's this one with the balance. And we'll do small CO02 payment, something like that. Then we'll copy that line so we don't have to put this other stuff in here anymore. We'll select the next one that we haven't done, this 3000, and we'll call this one 04 just to have some more description if we want. And then we make another line, we're copying the line, and we're doing change order, next one down, 937.50, and that's 05, just doing that because. Now we're doing another line, and we're selecting a change order. Which one was that last one? 937.50. So let's do this $750 one, and that's 06. Let's copy this line. Let's do another change order. We did the $751. Let's do this $3,000 one. It's filling in the amounts for us. And this is 07. And let's do another line. I believe that might be all of those. Let's see if we have any more after that. We just have this one, which is our credit, and we do want to do that one. So, and it says it's a negative. If you're clearing this credit, the amount on this line should be a negative amount. That's right. And we'll do landscaping credit or something just for some additional info. So now notice that the amount of our deposit is right at this moment showing a negative deposit of $72.85. We don't want to do that. We want to have one more line that's going to make this total to zero. So let's do that, but let's leave the payer, but let's make this the H job, because that's where we put our other one, and let it be OH because that's how that other one would have gone. And we're going to say small R check 3063 paid to them, or something. We'll leave the miscellaneous, and what we want to do is do a 1085 cash transfer clearing to clear that account out, and we're going to do a positive amount. Positive? Yeah. And behind the scenes, that will post a credit to 1085. And you want this to the generic H job because you don't want this showing up, this part, this in and out part shown on job revenues, etc. We'll have the whole credit showing when we see the revenues here in just a little bit, and we'll take a look at that. So we're just posting a zero deposit that doesn't affect our cash account, but we have to go ahead and select a bank account, so we'll just use that same one we were using. We'll use today's date. And you can post a zero deposit that doesn't affect the cash account, but where you're using what you need to use on the deposit window to get all those revenues recognized when you do job revenues reports, and to get your change order ledger cleared out. So those tools are all on the deposit window, and that's why we went and did this. So we're actually, in a way, showing our check here that we paid to them, but it's all a wash, the net of all of this. I don't know how to explain that any better, but in this line, both on when you do your payables check and when you do, and I might, have this check number wrong. I can't remember what I used, and I could make sure I had that right after I printed it. I'd have the check printed in front of me. But anyway, that's pretty much how you handle that. So let's go ahead and submit this deposit. It did not affect our cash account because it was a total of zero, but what I'd like to do is go back to the jobs dashboard, and I want to open the reports that show my revenues, costs and revenues detail, and so I'd like to see what shows up for those revenues down there at the end of this report. That's a bunch of costs. Now notice that under the change order category, we are having this landscaping credit show up. We're having other payments. We've actually have a negative amount, net amount of all of that there, but they're showing all up there against all the rest of our stuff, because we have some other payments involved here, by the way. So we've actually given them, they'd already given us money, that's why we owed this money. And that's why we have a negative amount there, but that's okay. That's just showing that we gave them this big credit for all of that. So let's, what I need to do is go look at our change orders for that job. Let's look again at the change orders approved, see if we did all of that correctly. We have a balance due now of zero. All of these are marked as having a payment. If you drill down on your payments, you can see them. And that's showing, that we did this cash account. All of that is going to show that they're to that cash account, and it's a net. That's just really how you handle it to get those change orders cleared out. And that's all I guess I need to say to get the balance due of the change orders to zero. That's how you would do it if you write them a check, which could sort of puzzle you about how to handle doing that. Hope that gives you some good ideas about how to handle that type of thing. Every person's situation is unique. Every agreement with your home buyers are unique. You may never be writing them a check like that. You may wait till the end of the job and let the change orders all wash out. You just by giving them a credit to their original budget, it seems like that might be just giving them a credit that's so that you can pull down the price, and you would handle that at closing. I'm not sure. So anyway, thank you for watching. I wanted to show you one more thing about that cash transfer clearing account that I was using. Let you take a look at it. Let's look at our chart of accounts. For some reason, I'll just use that so I can see balances in accounts. But that cash transfer clearing account that I was using should always, if you set up some sort of clearing account, it should not be marked as a cash account, so that it will show up in drop-down things, for one thing, when you set it up, and it should really always be zero. It's just a GL account to use to put things in and out, sort of, so to speak. So we've had some other things we've used where we're transferring from one bank to another bank or things like that. But here's where we use that account also to post the accounts payable check, which caused a debit of $7,285. And when we did the line on the deposit screen as a positive amount, behind the scenes it posts a credit. That's just so that that deposit window will be more intuitive, and I've explained to accountants that behind the scene it'll be the opposite entry. So you can see how that cash transfer clearing account was used to just have a place so we could print the check, and then post a zero deposit that would then clear that cash transfer clearing account out. This $7,285 actually would show up as an accounts payable check in our 1025 GL account. It actually went out of that one. So anyway, that was just a last postscript there on this video. Thank you.